All weapons are to be tossed into the chasm. Magistrate's orders.
I'll be in my bakery. Thank you, Galerius.
Hey, Virgil, how much would you want to make me a bow?
For the last time, Dacius, I'm not making you a bow.
But why?
You know why.
But how am I going to defend myself against someone else with a weapon?
There are no other weapons in the city. We all went along with the magistrate's weapons ban, so it wouldn't be an issue.
That's why I've got to get in first before someone else beats me to it. Hello there, friend. May I say, that is a are you well,
Just love springtime.
Very well. Another time. Hello there, friend. Well, I'll take your word for it. But perhaps you'd be interested in selling it to me. Now you're talking, I'm interested. How about 100 denarii? Oh, that's a little excessive, don't you think? It's not the bow of Ulysses we're talking about. All right. But I'm going to need you to tell me before I pay up. Wait. Let's not be too hasty, friend. I just want a little assurance that I can trust you, that's all. I suppose you're right. All right, you drive a hard bargain, but here's your money. Now, the location of that bow. You idiot!
The
Might as well
many
have stolen the
shall
money.
suffer for the sins of the one.
Sounds serious. I'm listening. All right, let me see. Stop that... Yulia? I'll go, but once I'm done...
Before "49 Belades fetch again, with incessant labor, the water they have lost."
Salve, friend. What? All right. What?
I can't believe this is how it ends.
Oh no, 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 no.
That.
What?
Why?
I know. Please, please help. I don't know.
You know about that? How is that possible? I mean, I've never mentioned it to anyone. Well, if you say so. You don't understand. I don't want to... It's too late for that. If I backed out now, I'd be betraying her. I can't do that. Oh, really? That changes things a little. But we're still in debt bondage to that monster. Really? Wait. So, I guess you'd want me to work for you, then. You'd do that for us? It seems today we're both blessed. Thank you, friend. Thank you. I'll go and pay off our debts immediately. I just wish there was some way I could repay you. But I have nothing but the tunic on my back. Ah. And there it is. Scintilla and I were in love. And then, 22 days ago, she went missing. All right. One night a few months ago, when I was cleaning Malleolus's villa, I heard a young woman singing. I wasn't allowed out, so once everyone else was asleep, I climbed up the inside of the villa and that's when I saw her. I just sat there on the roof, listening, and then she looked up and saw me and she smiled. And from the moment she asked my name with this warmth and curiosity, and so for weeks on end, each night I'd climb out of, we'd hold hands, and then one morning I woke up and everyone was out searching for her. They said she'd vanished. All I could do was keep my head down and try to hide how beside myself I was. Scintilla was the one thing that made my life bearable. But with her gone, I swear by the gods of Rome, I don't know what happened to her. All I know is she loved me. She'd never have taken her own. I can't prove it, but I just know she's still alive somehow. Somebody... My guess? Malleolus had something to do with it. I have no idea where he'd be keeping her. But there is one room in his villa, upstairs. I've never seen the inside of it. And I haven't been able to steal a key without breaking the golden rule. But I have a feeling that if you could get in there somehow, it would shed light on a great many things. Let me know what you discover. I'll go and take care of things with Malleolus and tell Yulia the good news. Thanks again, friend.
Fear is proof of a degenerate mind.
Thank you. I am delighted and deeply honored to have been elected your Majesty. Yes, thank you. I am delighted and deeply honored, elected your Majesty. And now, I make this solemn promise to you, good citizens. And now. Domitius doesn't usually let anyone in here without a hefty tribute, so you must have been desperate to see me. Well, my name is Marcus Malleolus Gurgis. You seem to have confused me with someone else. You mean my heterochromia? I am guilty of nothing, and I like to... Unlikely, because it simply isn't true. Now, was there some... Why would... You fool.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Oh. All right, let me see. You live. But how did you... All right, of course. I'll make sure this gets to him. I'll go, but once I'm done, I'll need you to tell me how you know all of this.
You, Tantalus, cannot catch the drops of water.
Fabia, listen.
Hello?
Troublemaker coming into the city.
I know, and I'll take care of him. Just go and hide, but not in the empty shrine.
Wait, how did you know I was headed in there?
No time to explain. Go!
All right, I'll be in my bakery. Thank you, Galerius.
Hey, Virgil, how much would you want to make me a bow?
For the last time, Dacius, I'm not making you a bow.
But why?
You know why.
But how am I going to defend myself against someone else with a weapon?
There are no other weapons in this city.
Curse you, cultist.
Hello? Well, I'll take your word for it. But perhaps you'd be interested in selling it to me. I mean, it's not as if you have any use for it down here. Now you're talking, I'm interested. Oh. All right. Wait. I suppose you're right. Here's your money. Now, what? I can't take that. You promised to tell me where... What is this? I don't... Don't even talk to me.
What? How?
Galerius arranged it somehow.
Really? That's
A
incredible.
golden bow,
Oh,
just
what
like
a
Apollo
relief.
and Diana. Feeling all
I
right?
don't know what to say.
You don't need to say
That's
anything.
a shame.
Just rest up. Get your strength back. And we'll celebrate properly when you're ready.
Fear is proof of a degenerate mind.
Salve again, friend. I went and did... How is it possible? Oh, come on. I just did as you... You're a bit like Sisyphus. Yeah, that's the one. Sisyphus was... He was forcing him to start. Actually, Tantalus was made to... Oh, anyway, so... Anytime, friend. Now, I'm going to keep your secret. Although, it's not as if I'll remember this next time we talk anyway, right? Oh, and if our conversations ever start to annoy you, just tell me you're busy. I know when I'm not wanted. May fortune smile on you, friend.
Ugh, this place is... Ugh. Oh. Oh, really? That commoner in debt bondage, I can see... Oh, I see. Thank you. Oh, look. Oh. What? Really? But it's odd. You should go and speak with her.
All weapons are to be tossed into the chasm. Magistrate's orders.
What the fuck? How do I get back up here? This goddamn game, dog. Go potty, Joe. Ain't nobody in there. Go use the potty, Joe. Hey.
Fear is proof of a degenerate mind.
A skeleton? You're saying she's... That wouldn't surprise me at all. Scintilla and I... Alright, I wasn't allowed out, and that's when I saw her. I just sat there, and then, and from the... And so, we'd hope, and then what, all I know, kidnap. I can't, I've never, but I have. Let me know what you discover.
Joe.
Keep an eye out for Scintilla, would you?
Domitius doesn't usually... What? You are acting very strangely. My name... You... and I like... Well... Unlike... I trust you can see your...
Ugh, this place has become hard. I trust. Oh, don't mind me. I just live here.
Oi! How did you get in there, you cheeky little stud? If I cop an earful from Malleolus, I'll be coming for you.
How the fuck do I get upstairs from here?
Don't believe a word they tell you.
Are they?
Salve. Sorry, was there... I can tell you. Alright, zip. I'm not proud of it, but I had to... I paid. You figure... Drink sheep. She immediately told Malleolus I'd tried to escape without paying him back. Only, he didn't seem upset or surprised at all. In fact, he just thanked her. And that's when I realized the two of them had planned the whole thing from the beginning.
In fact, just thanked her, and then when I realized the two of them had planned the whole thing from the beginning,
That's what I said to the magistrate. I went to Sentius and begged for help, but he said the law was clear. I thought about he locked his wife. I'd be up those two, my hemlock. I just wanted it to be. I brought it on myself. Well, it seems the gods have... No. I did hear from Ulpius that she disappeared. It's very sad. She was such a lovely young woman, but I'd been locked in Malleolus. If that's your idea of a joke, it's not funny.
Salve, welcome. Ah, we've all... I still... Ah, that's a shame.
Oh, shit. Oh,
I hope you're coping.
Keeping an eye on things, Horatius?
As always, priestess.
Any news about Scintilla, Navia, or Kabash?
No sign of any of them, I'm afraid. But we do have a newcomer. Strangely dressed fella. Funny accent, too.
A traveller from a faraway land, then?
Seems that way.
Then let's make sure he feels welcome, shall we?
Of course, priestess.
A new face. Ave, and may Vesta... Interesting. Yes, I understand many of our... What else? That's true. I know I wasn't entirely sure how I wound up here. What else? Yes, I also had such an encounter. It's as I feared. I think I understand what poor Livia has been going through. Let me ask you this. Did you happen to encounter a stranger in the forest before you arrived here? And did you happen to catch her name? I see. And was this Karen, by any chance, wearing a hood? Because I've seen her before. There's something I think you should see. I think you'd better follow me to the baths. But don't follow too closely. We can't have people thinking we're bathing together. All right, you're here. You were asking how I knew the young woman you met by the river was wearing a hood. Here, look down at the bottom of the baths. It's a little hard to make out in this light. If only we could see. Oh, what a marvelous lamp. But do you see it? Somebody waking up by a river in a forest to find a hooded figure with a coin. It's just as you described it, only your pronunciation is a little off. The name you heard wasn't Karen. It was C-H-A-R-O-N, as in Charon, the ferryman of the dead. Charon, who, in exchange for the right coin, helps the souls of the newly deceased cross the Styx, the river that separates the land of the living from the land of the dead.
When I dragged you out of the river, I thought you were never gonna wake up. I checked your pockets for ID, but all I found was some loose change. Feels like I've spent my whole life in a dead-end job with an endless commute. Sorry if I sounded cagey, it's just that I don't always get the best reactions when I introduce myself. My name's Karen.
There are a bunch of old stories about the gods punishing people by making them do the same futile task over and over. But on the bright side, at least you're not stuck in the underworld like they all were.
I'm so sorry, my friend. I'm so sorry. I take it you know what this means. I'm afraid so. It's all starting to make sense. All these people whose last memory was running from the fires toward the river. It seems none of them escaped with their lives after all. Perhaps we should be grateful they don't remember their final moments. It also tells us that the Golden Rule is the work of Pluto, the god of the underworld, and why his epithet has always been Father of Riches. I know it's a lot to take in, and you look as if you have questions, so I'll try to answer them if I can. That was my first thought too. In the old stories, the underworld was where the souls of the deceased were taken. But it was also possible for the living to reach it without dying, if they were particularly fearless. So I'm afraid I don't know. No. I mean, I had my suspicions, especially after Livia's ramblings, but I would never have figured it out without your help, I promise you. Good question. Let's see. In the stories, Charon would always require a coin as payment for passage across the river, but that never made any sense to me. What does an ancient immortal being need with coins? In our case, it seems Charon didn't take the coins we had. He or she merely checked we had one in our possession. So, maybe there's something special about the coins each of us had on us. That might explain why we wound up here, but so many others did not. Oh, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting you're not from here. If you were Roman, or even Greek, you would know these stories. But they always involved the souls of the dead meeting a grim ferryman named Charon on the bank of a river. It was said that he'd help the new arrival cross, only if they could pay him with a coin, an obol. That's why it was once our custom to bury our loved ones with a coin in their mouths. Charon's obol, we called it. Of course, an obol was a kind of Greek coin, because we inherited this knowledge from the Greeks. To be fair, the ferryman isn't exactly as the poets described, and he, she, they seem to appear to different people in different guises. You say you saw a young woman named Karen with a hood, and I once heard Kabash mention a stranger in a ram headdress named Kerti, and Rufius described meeting a stranger named Kumut Tabal wearing an eagle headdress. But whatever form this stranger took, they were always wearing a hood of some sort, and their name always began with a K sound. I suspect the only way you'll solve this riddle is if your paths cross again. No. Now that we know we don't have much. Hercules, the demigod and son of Jupiter. Orpheus, a Thracian poet. Sisyphus. Hercules was able to leave the underworld because he cowed its god with his strength. Sisyphus and Orpheus both relied on their wits instead. And finally, Aeneas was able to escape with the help of a spirit guide, who led him through a secret gate. So it seems you have two options: to confront the god of the underworld head-on, or find a way to escape with the help of Proserpina or some other guide. It's a reasonable question, but the problem is, this place is fairly well designed to keep us here. There's no way to climb up the shaft. And even if you could build a ladder big enough, just trying it would break the golden rule. We know that, thanks to the writings left behind by those who've tried. All Romans try to avoid saying it, and the reason is quite simple. He might hear us. You may refer to him as Pluto, if you wish, but you'll only be calling attention to yourself. Do so at your own peril. Shh! Is everyone so blunt where you're from? Oh! That option would be the boldest, but also the only way to learn the truth about the Golden Rule, and maybe even put an end to it. As I said, Hercules managed to overpower the god of the underworld, but he was a demigod. Forgive my candor, but you are no Hercules. Are you telling me that you can? I won't pretend to understand exactly what that means, but if that's true, then perhaps you stand a chance. So, if you want to confront him, I'll help you as much as I can. Who knows? Perhaps your name will be uttered in the same sentence as Hercules one day. But first, you'd need an audience with you-know-who, and for that, you'll need to enter the great temple overlooking the city. The problem is, the door has been sealed shut for as long as I've lived here, and there doesn't even seem to be a keyhole. I suspect the answer lies in the desecrated obelisk in front of it. I'm not sure if you noticed, but there are 4 plaques. It looks as though somebody, or a series of somebodies, forcibly removed them, and in doing so, dishonored and angered our divine keeper. If you could recover and replace all 4 of those missing plaques, I imagine he might be willing to receive an audience again. It's the towering stone monument with 4 sides. You'll find them all over Rome. But of course, that means you'll need to recover 4 different plaques: Roman, Greek, Egyptian, and a 4th, a mystery plaque. Good question. To answer that, we first need to ask who would have defaced the obelisk in the first place. It would have had the god's name engraved into it, so it may be that whoever desecrated it wanted that name to be forgotten. And there's only one group of people I know of who might want to do that. There's a cult in Rome that often argued there is only one true god. Theirs, of course. They've been known to start fires, as well as deface religious monuments whose existence challenged their beliefs. If I were you, I'd go looking for them. Of course, they've all been in... But I did hear a rumor they have a secret shrine somewhere in the city. Perhaps, if you could find that, you might be able to recover the Roman plaque. I don't know. Perhaps Kabash, our Egyptian resident, would be able to tell us. But I did hear... I'm afraid you're on your own. As I mentioned, both Orpheus and Sisyphus were said to have persuaded Proserpina to help them escape, and Aeneas was guided to the exit. The problem is, those are the stories of a poet, a self-aggrandizing king. First, it's... If the stories are true, then I suppose so. The problem is, how do we communicate with her without being noticed by her captor? Leaving that aside for a moment, there is also the possibility of a spirit guide. I don't suppose you've come across one of those in your travels? Truly? And you're only bringing this up now? Then again, I suppose you were worried I'd think you were as mad as Navia. Can you tell me more? Is it the same voice? What kinds of thing does it say? Fascinating. Perhaps she is a benevolent spirit. Or perhaps... Perhaps you're hearing the voice of Proserpina herself. If she has indeed been abducted, it would make sense for her to speak in cryptic whispers to avoid detection. Tell me, has she told you anything that might lead you to the way out? That is strange. There are no rivers here. Let me think on that. right, because the current flows into the city through the aqueduct and into the upper cistern. I vaguely recall wondering what was in there, but the door at the back of the great temple is locked up tight. You might be able to get a key from the magistrate, but if that doesn't work, perhaps you can find another way in. Let me know if you find anything in there. All right. I would suggest not discussing this with anyone. The best we can do for them, as for... In any case, time is of the essence. May for...
Salve, Dooley. How are you doing today?
Oh!
Ixion turns. Just as the oath, but it... Say it. Speak its name. Then it is true. I was right. I thought I saw it, but when the rest of them could not, I kept thinking I had to tell myself it was I must apologize if my words seem cryptic. I'd found comfort in reciting the metamorphoses by, he gives... I will do my best to remember the relevant verse. There is a downward path, gloomy with fatal yew trees. It leads through dumb silence to the infernal regions. The sluggish Styx exhales vapor, and by that way, I announce.
you again. Look, if I had a Roman plaque in my possession, I'd be happy to sell it to you, but I don't, so I can't. That's... I trust you can see...
How come you're allowed a weapon and I'm not?
Be careful who you trust.
Name's Wolfius. Better watch your step. What business is that? Willow bark. And this will work? Oh, thank God. Finally, some relief. This... I've been... It was too... I owe you one. No idea what you're talking about. All right. After this, I think I have seen that plaque. Sorry I lied. Can't be too careful these days. Head into the caves behind the theater. Turn right, then right again. Oh, and here. You'll need this key. You didn't get that from me. See you around.
What you did was extraordinary, and even if I had seen it, and I'm not saying I have, I couldn't in good conscience give it to you. That's all I'll say. What you're doing is disgusting, and it's not going to work. Ah, that's a shame. Lovely to see you. Even if I had... Even if I had seen... What you're... Ah.
Be careful who you trust.
Greetings and salutations. And in a city full... My name is Yorios, yeah? They do this. I am at first, but the plague used... and besides... I hope that our paths cross again soon.
Sometimes I stare at the great temple on the... Nice to talk to you.
Salve and well. Terrible shame, that is. The forum's usually dead quiet at that app, to be honest. I thought maybe so I put my head out and saw someone I called out to them, but they just turned and ran off without a word. All I remember is they ran past a lit torch, and the light glinted off something metallic. Armour, I think. So I suppose it could only be one of three people. Horatius, Domitius, or Rufius. I hope that helps. Oh, there's not much. I suppose it all started about 8 months ago. I was living in Rome with my family when I got... My pa had just arranged a husband for me. I spent in the... Anyway... Good... Well... Well... Yep. All right. Shiny.
Fortune smile on you, brother. Now, I've bounced the idea, but from... and maybe... Because Sentius put him there. Poor Dooley was just wandering around. There's none. Gladly. I've bounced the idea around, but from what... and I suppose you're right. I've bounced it, but... and how could you know that? I mean, I don't like the man, but I don't see how you could know a thing like that. All right, friend. Hope you find a way... That light! Did you steal it from the gods?
You carry the gift of Prometheus in your hand. Remarkable. Welcome. Well, it's a sin. Tell me. Ah, Kabash. I know this. I will tell you the one thing I love. Let us find out. Excellent. Now, will you join? Wonderful. Would you say you know the difference between right and to what extent in every situation? You sound confident, but I must ask, has your confidence not waned upon finding yourself in this place? Knowing that your moral errors will result in the death... Interesting. I'm reminded of something Socrates once said. Better to... It is... You see... So... But under... So... So let me ask you this. Is there one system of morality which is always perfectly correct, which you could follow in every situation and always do the right thing? Let me guess. Is it yours? And that's a credit to you. It is the mark of a civilized person to change their position when presented with a superior argument. Good. Never discourage anyone who continually makes progress, no matter how slow. Would you say you know the difference between right and wrong? You are an overthinker too. We're the same then. It is probably why I became a philosopher. But if you struggle with right and wrong normally, then down here with the golden rule, surely your struggle can only have become more difficult. Well, that's reassuring. And the truth is, you're not alone. You see, so we... But under the... So to now... That is an excellent question. So... Are you sure? Or is it possible that humans simply haven't figured out the... After hundreds of years and as many great things, what hope do we have? Good. Now, would you... I see. You see. So we... But under the goal... So to now... So let... How can that be? If there... You know, I think you'd find an ally in Herodotus, a scribe from among my people. He told the story of a man. He asked, Venia, from this, I take it you're in agreement? Then let me ask you this. If you visited a tribe where they ate each other, copulated with the dead, and drank wine from cups made out of human skulls, would you still maintain that within such a tribe there is nothing wrong with such conduct? Disturbing. And while I do not agree with you, at least you would have the support of Herodotus. Good. Would you say... I see. You see. So, but under the... So... That is an excellent... So... Let me get... And that... My point... Surely you would have... If the ends in map... Because the... This and life... I'm glad to hear that. I will tell you, but you may find him hostile. To prepare very few... When the Rome... Thus the shrine of... And when they found an obelisk bearing the name Hades, they tore it off and replaced it with Pluto instead. And the city's dwindling Greek residents, witnessing this compulsive Roman conquest, decided to preserve what they could of their heritage. They gathered their art and valuables, secreted them away through the Temple of Demeter, and hid them here, out of reach of the Romans. However, there was one thing that always, and even... We had no idea until years later, as a sudden, you see, but it took, I think... There are certain things you must see for yourself. Take this. I enjoyed our chat, but please, keep my...
Stop! Do not come any closer. Who are you? I am Kabash. Now, your turn. And let me... Trousers, boots, curious here. No, I suppose... To what end? That is welcome news. You really are not Greek. I was planning to return it myself, but for now, here, take it and restore the honor of Osiris. Now, as for the other plaque. Indeed, I have it right here. I stumbled across a collection of dusty curiosities while searching for a place to hide from the hungry. You may not. In fact, I am about to destroy it. Because it speaks a treacherous, blasphemous lie. I will tell you, but first, do you know what this place is? It has a name, and that is the Duat. See what has become of it. I have been down here for weeks, piecing together its story, and here is what I have learned. As Egypt, when Eve as... It is inscribed with a script I do not recognize, but it is ancient, almost it, and that... You will never know. This work of sacrilege must be... You are too late. It is done. It could not have gone any other way. It was Osiris's will. Now, the thing of evil you sought is... I do not know. What could possibly... All I know... Most on what... Good way. You would plunge into the depths of the Duat with... we... When I told you that you would not find a way back up, that was not a prediction. That was a promise. You will die here. I disagree. I warned you against coming down here. Against puppet. You have... Very well. Why should... Then you admit it. You wish to destroy the sacred beliefs of my people. I will. Many weep and yet did our... I am not sure I follow. Speak. Now you insult me and all of my... You... Good. I welcome it. You see, the philosopher told me that each time it breaks, Osiris bellows with rage. I can...
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Salve, friend. Mind? Oh, sounds serious. I'm listening. Yulia. All right, let me see. But how did you... Oh, poor guy. I'll go, but one...
You, Sisyphus, attack or pursue the stone.
Whatever's in that great temple up there on the bluff.
Fear is proof of a degenerate mind.
We're fine. Is that... You broke it. Why in Pluto? Well, it seems you failed. Look, it's now. I think it's best if I hang on to it. You mean to... I'm sorry. Yes. Aeneas the... and... I'm glad to hear that. Now, was there something else? Ask then. Good. Now, what... Thank you. I'll be waiting here for news.
Ah, you've returned. If I give the... Thank you. I'll be waiting here for...
Fear is proof of a degenerate mind.
It wasn't for lack of trying. And now Malleolus is going to... Wait. Why do you look so happy?
We're free. Wonder how much one of these statues is worth on the outside.
Hello? My name's Dooley. I live here now because I got in trouble and they said they had to lock me up. I don't know. I don't remember things so good. I think it's just because I was looking for treasure. Yes, but I wasn't. I was just looking. They said I did it more than once, but I can't remember things so good. Then they called me mean names. They called me a liar, Billy. Yes. They said I have to live here now, and gave me this letter. But I'm not good with words. Do you think you could read it for me? What does it say? My treasure! My friend Hannibal used to look after me. He said he always would. But then, he died. It was very sad. He said if anything ever happened to him, I had to find something very precious hidden away. He gave me this key and made me promise to keep it safe until I found the treasure. But I couldn't find it. All I remember is he said something about the cisterns. But when I went up to the high one, they put me in here. Now nobody looks after me. Except my friend Galerius. And Ek, the priestess lady. She's a nice lady. Hannibal said... Galerius already tried that. He said the magistrate wouldn't listen, no matter what. What about the rules? I don't want everyone to get in trouble because I was bad. Like Galerius. He's nice. I like Galerius. He made me a doll and everything. If you help make him magistrate, he can get me out of here, and I can give you the key to my treasure. Hannibal said it was in the cisterns. I can't remember what it was, just that it was way up high and very precious. Bye-bye. Hello. Do you like it? It's shiny, innit? It makes me happy just looking at it. But if I gave it to you, then I wouldn't have it anymore, and I'd be sad. Well... Galerius already tried. Like... Yeah, Galerius will let me out. Then you can have my... You're going... Oh. Please. You're mean. Hello?
Citizen? No idea what you're talking about? Yeah? Prove it. Sentius, military man, knows what he's doing. No. See you around.
A new face. I beg your pardon? Oh my, that is quite a lot to take in. You'll have to give me a moment. Let's see. If that is indeed the case, I suppose we'd better figure out what to do about it, hadn't we? We don't have much to go on. Hercules, Sisyphus, and fine. So it's... May Fortuna guide you. Ave. I don't... It'll be... White. I like the idea, but I know Galerius well, and his position has always been that he won't run unless Malleolus withdraws. It was only yesterday that he said to me he'd only ever run if it... So, As I said, I'm planning... As you wish. Certainly. See you again soon, I hope.
Welcome.
That... Citizen.
Well, my vote isn't for sale, if that's what you ask. Nice to...
Ave again. Did you find what you need? Certain. May Fortuna guide.
How come you're allowed a weapon and I'm... Malleolus isn't receiving visitors at the moment, it being election day. Do I seem like an anonymous friend? You don't know Whatever. Just remember.
What is it? What? Absolutely not. I know someone's been threatening him, and I'm not happy about it. But I can assure you, it isn't me. You know nothing. Not that it's any of your business. But my loyalty is, and unfortunately, see Dimitri, the man's a sentiest. This place. Hey, if you think you can do better, in any case. What? All right.
What now? Do I whatever.
Keep an eye out for Scintilla, would you?
Ah, you again. No idea what you're talking about. Ah, look, I haven't been... I know. I'll leave him alone from now on. It's not as if I was ever going to hurt him anyway. I'm...
Salve.
Welcome back. You went snooping? Have you... Really? Really? Nice to talk to you.
weapons
quite
that
an
have been
impressive
tossed
friend.
into the chasm.
How come you're allowed a weapon and I'm not?
I trust you can see yourself out. Oh, don't mind me. I just live here.
Welcome. Read? Nice to talk to you.
weapons
quite
are
an
to be
impressive
tossed
bow.
into the chasm. I just don't...
Hey, you're not thinking about going into the cistern, are you? Well,
Thank you.
You? Who are you? Did he send you? Do you know you're here? You have to help me escape before that monster comes back. I'm Scintilla. I found a way out through the Gate of Horn, but it's locked. So I told him about it, and instead of helping me escape, he locked me up. He wants to keep us all here forever, or until we're turned to gold. He's a monster. You have to let me go so we can kill him and take his key. Sentius, my adoptive father. Furies help me. I'll castrate and crucify him. I don't know. He said the gods are on his side because they don't want us to escape either. I'm going to take that key from around his neck. Even if it means cutting his throat to get it. I'm done caring about the Golden Rule. I just want out. Help me, and we can escape together. There won't be enough time. Just you and me. What do you say? There's no time. Wait, did you hear that? He's here. Quick, you have to let me go. It's now or never. Oh, thank you. Now follow. Wait, did you hear that? He's here. He must be coming in through the door behind me. You distract him. Stay right here and keep him talking while I look for something I can use.
What did you do with Scintilla? Where is she? So that is how it's going to be. Oh well, this doesn't change anything for me. It's a shame, really. If you'd just done what you were supposed to, you'd have been looping through time forever until you gave up and killed yourself. Just like that soft-hearted pleb, Al. Come now. Shh. Surely you didn't think you were the only one here who remembered everything. You see, my connection to the portal somehow preserves my memories from one loop to the next. Whether that was Proserpina's intention or a happy accident, I'll never know. But I'm surprised you hadn't noticed. Here I was thinking you were a little bit sharper than Al was. Or perhaps you're just more willing to break the rules. He was a moralistic fellow, never once compromised on his principles. And because of that fatal flaw, he relived this day many thousands of times before we finally had this conversation. I watched him come through the portal each time, always a little older, a little more disheveled, a little more haunted. And when he finally saw the futility of it all, as you're about to, it broke him. He drank a jug of wine, tied a noose around his neck, and took his own life, just before he was shot with a golden arrow. The next time I awoke, you showed up, but you've caught up to where he was so quickly. I'd have preferred if you'd given me more time to enjoy the trappings of my success. How many extra days did you give me? Just the 8? Not a lot compared with Al, but I've seized every day, nonetheless. In any case, there's no escape for you except the path that Al took, the path he wrote about on his tablet. What was it? Ah, yes. Better to end it all now than find out what awaits you beyond that portal. So, you discovered my secret. So what? What are you going to do about it? Why? Isn't it obvious? Because I have grown attached to all this. My title, my beautiful villa, the sun on my face, the music of birds chirping. And as long as this day keeps repeating itself, I get to enjoy it all, over and over again, for eternity. Don't you see? I have found a way to prolong my life indefinitely, to cheat death. I have become, in effect, as immortal as the gods. Can you honestly say you would not wish the same for yourself? Of course. There's no way you could have succeeded. Every soul who has ever found themselves here has broken the golden rule eventually. It is inevitable. Man will always sin sooner or later. Any idiot could tell you this. But where others might see tragedy, I saw opportunity. As I told you the first time we met, I found a way to cheat death by reliving the same day over and over again forever. And I will continue living long after your dust. Do you really think you can take on a Decurion with that flimsy little bow? Who? Scintilla? Where is she?
I'm right here, Father.
The many shall suffer.
I have his
for
key.
the sins
I
of
can
the
open
one.
the gate. Come on, we have to go. Hey, what's happening to you? That light, it's so bright.
Hi there. Gave me a bit of a fray. Thought I was in here alone. I'm Al. Well, here I am. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. Funny you should ask. I was just reading an old tablet I found here. Well, trying. My Latin is kinda rusty, but the last entry mentioned someone with the same name. It described an event about 2,000 years ago. Someone with your name appeared in the city out of the shrine of Proserpina. Freed an imprisoned woman named Scintilla, who then murdered her captor, breaking some kind of ancient law. It said the attack caused golden statues to come alive, hunting down everyone in the city and turning them into gold. Apparently, the only person to survive was Scintilla, while the stranger disappeared in a flash of light. What? You're saying you were here 2,000 years ago? I'm not sure I understand. I'm sorry, come again? Let me see that. God, why does this writing look so familiar? I've spent a lifetime in this place going around and around in circles. This is disturbing. But I don't understand how I could have written it. I'm not following. So you're saying, because a man from 2,000 years ago is dead, he never created a time portal, so I never went through it, and that's why I don't remember any of this. I guess you saved my life then, as well as helping that poor woman to escape. That's a lot to take in. Maybe we can escape through the same aqueduct Scintilla used, if we can find it. I'm gonna pause here for a moment and make sure nobody else has ever lured into this temple. You go on ahead. I'll be there soon.
You're back! But you're alone. Does that mean you didn't find Al? Oh, what a relief. Thank you so much. I was beginning to think you'd both become trapped in there. Why don't you tell me what you discovered while we wait?
Ah, I see. I thought you might. Well, now you know. I suppose you have questions. You can just call me Charon, if you like. I am sorry I was not completely honest with you when we first met. I do not enjoy deceiving people. Believe me, I do not. But I have learned, from 5,000 years of experience, that most people find comfort in familiarity, in gradual change, and coming to see the truth in their own time. That you died, of course. You were dead when I brought you here. My role, as the servant of the god of the underworld, has always been to assist the chosen to cross the threshold from the land of the living to the land of the dead. Usually, when people do not remember how they died, it is because they suffered a terrible trauma. Most souls would rather not remember. Ask yourself honestly, do you really want to know? As you wish. You were murdered. You made a purchase in a marketplace, and the change you received was, by mistake, a single silver coin of ancient origin. You were seen inspecting it, and soon after, you were set upon by 2 thieves. The shopkeeper who had given you the coin saw the scuffle break out and leapt to your aid. You both fought bravely, but your assailants were armed, and you were not. There was nothing you or your ally could have done. He died instantly at the scene, and you followed a few hours later. That man's name was Al Worth. You were each in possession of a sacred coin, called Kaelin's Opal by some, and so it was my duty to bring you here. Perhaps you have heard the tales of the Greeks and Romans burying their dead with a coin in their mouths to pay the ferryman for passage across the river. Well, those stories contained a seed of truth, but not any coin would do. A long time ago, my master created 1,000 silver coins and had me distribute them across the world. My orders were simple. Whenever a person died in possession of a coin, I was to locate them and ferry them here. That is a question you would have to ask him, if that were still possible, in light of the path you have chosen. I am just his servant, doing his bidding. Only now, I find myself bereft of purpose. You see, the coins on you and Al were the last of the 1,000 in existence. There is nobody else to ferry here, nobody to keep you company. After 5,000 years, the underworld has finally run its course. I see no point in keeping you here, but I have to ask one thing. That you keep this to yourself.
Look! Here comes Al now. Al! It's so good to see you. You were gone so long I thought I'd never see you again.
Kinda lost track of time in there. You wouldn't believe what we found. The ruins of a long-forgotten city. And there was a tablet describing an event 2,000 years ago. Supposedly, the city was destroyed when a woman murdered a tyrant with the help of, well, my new friend here. I know how crazy that sounds.
Maybe not that crazy. That woman. I don't suppose her name was Scintilla?
How could you... What?
She left a tablet of her own. I stumbled across it while I was waiting here. I think she meant for you to read it. Here, take a look. I don't know what became of you, or if you'll ever read this, but I want you to know that I will never forget you, or what you did for me. It pains me that so many dear friends were not so fortunate. Ulpius, Cynthia, Lucretia, Horatius, Galerius, poor Dooley, and the others. But please understand, their blood is on my hands, not yours. I will live with the consequences of my actions, and all I can do is move forward, trying to show others the same compassion you showed me. I promise you that saving my life will not be for nothing. Scintilla. Sounds like you meant a lot to her. I'd love to hear your story, but first, you two look exhausted. Why don't you hop in my boat and rest while I ferry you back to civilization?
Sounds good to me.
And you? Are you ready to go home?